There are two really popular weight loss techniques right now, paleo and plant-based. So let's talk about the similarities and the differences. Now, there are some fusion techniques, but I don't recommend them for hunger-free weight loss. So paleo and plant-based basically have three things in common. First, they're equally and highly effective weight loss techniques. Second, there's no counting or measuring or portion control with either of them. And third, they're both focused almost exclusively on whole foods, which means unrefined or unprocessed foods. You can learn more about processed foods, what they are, what makes some of them better than others, and why they're the enemy of weight loss in Lesson 5. Now, let's talk about how these two approaches differ. The paleo diet is basically a low-carb, high-fat approach, whereas the plant-based diet is the opposite. It's a high-carb, low-fat approach. Because carbs only come from plants, on a paleo diet, the only plants you can eat are certain types of vegetables. But you can eat lots of animals, like meat, fish, and eggs, and lots of fats, like oils and butter. On a plant-based diet, you can eat any and all kind of vegetables, including potatoes, any and all kind of fruits, any and all kinds of whole grains, and any and all kinds of legumes, which are beans, peas, and lentils. These are high carbohydrate foods, most of which are off limits on a paleo diet. Now, it's important to understand that not all carbs will help you lose weight. You can learn more about which carbs are best for weight loss in Lesson 7. And just because plant-based means low fat, that doesn't mean we don't eat any fat, and it definitely doesn't mean we eat processed low-fat foods. You can learn more about which fats we eat in Lesson 8. Now, the paleo, aka low-carb diet, is also known as the keto diet or ketogenic diet, which stands for metabolic ketosis. The low-carb folks will tell you it's a good thing because it basically puts your body into a fat-burning mode, which is true. But what they don't tell you is technically it's a metabolic state of emergency that your body gets into when you deprive it of its preferred source of fuel, which is carbohydrates. The irony here is that archaeologists have confirmed that actual Paleolithic humans got 80% of their calories from carbohydrates, just like we do on a plant-based diet. Rather than put our bodies in a state of emergency, on a plant-based diet, we feed our body the kind of nutrient-dense foods it needs to achieve an optimal metabolic balance. And yes, that is important for weight loss. You can learn more about why nutrient-dense foods are so helpful for weight loss in Lesson 1. And you can learn more about nutrients in general in Lesson 4. Now, the nutrient-dense foods we eat on a plant-based diet are available at most grocery stores, and they'll give you all the nutrients your body needs to thrive, with the exception of one little vitamin called vitamin B12. And I'm going to post a link below to explain why that is. Speaking of groceries, there's also a big difference in cost between paleo and plant-based diets. Because a paleo diet is basically half meat and half vegetables, and a plant-based diet is basically half starch and half vegetables, and because starchy foods like whole grains, legumes, and potatoes are the cheapest foods there are, the difference in cost between paleo and plant-based is about tenfold. Now let's talk health. In the short term, both approaches may improve your personal health because they help you lose weight and they get you off the processed foods. But the long-term implications of these two approaches are much different. There's significant evidence that the more animals you eat, the more health risk there is, and the more plants you eat, the more health benefits there are. This includes cardiovascular disease like heart disease and stroke, type 2 diabetes, all the most common forms of cancer, and general longevity. Finally, there's a huge difference between how these diets impact global health, but that's a topic that's too big to cover in this video. In short, whether it's personal health or global health, the paleo diet presents health risks, whereas the plant-based diet presents health benefits. Well, I hope that was helpful to you. Please feel free to write all your questions below. I'll look forward to seeing them all. Thank you.